He's the President and Chief Investment Strategist at Yardeni Research. Yad, is it now certain that there will be a December rate cut now?
I think it's become more certain. If you look at the probability, according to the CME FedWatch model, it suggests that the likelihood is something around 80%. Last time I looked, these things can change pretty quickly. But a couple of days ago, it was actually under 50%. So I think the market has concluded that a few Fed officials here recently have turned quite dovish. On Friday, we had the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York suggest that a rate cut could very well happen in December. And then two Fed officials today, yesterday, I should say, reiterated all that. And so, yeah, I think it looks as though we're going to get a 25 basis point rate cut, and the market obviously rebounded from the Thursday sell-off.
And not just that, Ed, the market is also wondering who the new Fed chief is going to be, and it seems like it's going to be a December announcement.
Yeah, it seems so. I mean, there's a lot of rumors floating about that it's going to be Kevin Hassett, and that he would be a very plausible choice to be the next Fed chair. I think the market would just like to have know who the players are looking into next year. But all in all, it's in an ironic way, the Fed's become more independent because each of the participants on the Federal Open Market Committee seems to be more independent of the Fed chairman. So even if the President Trump gets somebody that he appoints and is accepted by the Senate, who's agrees with him that interest rates should be cut, we can still have a lot of dissension in the committee. But right now, it looks like the momentum is moving towards a rate cut now, and then they'll reassess it again in January.
Right. Ed, hi, morning. Also want to get your sense on some of the U.S. macros that we've seen last evening in terms of their retail sales, which seem to be slightly under pressure, and also their wholesale inflation is not, looking very rosy. It's not too concerning, but not too looking very rosy either. What is your take on some of these macros as we look at some other macros like GDP and core PCE numbers today?
Yeah, well, when economists and policymakers look at economic data, they tend to be biased by their own perceptions of what the economy is doing. And so the interesting thing about the data recently is you could almost tell whatever story you want to tell. I mean, retail sales were weak in September, but they were revised up the month before. The PPI was in line with expectation. It wasn't really all that hot. But it still suggests, along with the CPI, that the consumption deflator, which is what the Fed watches, suggests that it's going to be up maybe 0.2, 0.3, and that would still allow the Fed to go ahead with a rate cut.
Ed, what about the entire, tech cool-off piece? Because what we saw about a fortnight ago up until last week was also smacking of a risk off. I mean, not just for the Fab 7 or the Mag 7, but also what was happening in other asset classes like a Bitcoin. Right. Do you think we're out of the woods when it comes to the techies off?
Well, I think the market's becoming more discriminating about which stocks you want to be in. It may no longer be that you want to be in all of the Magnificent Seven. Right now, at least the past day or so, it looks as though Google suddenly is the hot stock among the Magnificent Seven, and NVIDIA has been not so hot. I think what we're learning is that this AI race is going to be very, very competitive. It's going to whoever's running ahead of the race could fall behind, and somebody else could race ahead. So it could be a very volatile trade here until things sort themselves out. Maybe they never will sort themselves out. Maybe AI technology is so state of the art and so fast in terms of innovations that it's going to make it hard to figure out who the winners are. But right now, it certainly looks like anybody that's associated with Google, whereas companies associated with NVIDIA don't look so hot.
Yeah, seems to be the case. But Ed, thank you so much for joining in today. Great to have you on the show as always.